Cronkite at CBS News headquarters in New York, reporting to you live on the unfolding events in the German Reich. We have just received unverified accounts of widespread conflict and unrest in the territories of the Reich, which appear to be a violent power struggle following the death of Adolf Hitler. While we have...
Hi guys, and welcome back to a new TNO Hoi 4 video. First TNO video I haven't uploaded in a while. I'm quite sick during this video, just wanted to say that. And also want to say, towards the end of the video it might seem a bit buggy. My game crashed like 5 times. But video took me a long time to make. Hope you guys enjoy or something like that. I don't know. The Gang of Four. Alright, well, that's a democratic German flag. What the heck? The Reich is a granitic edifice firmly under the Führer's control and utterly dedicated to the glorification of German people and National Socialism. Is it not all that is what truly is? The country lies in decay and stagnation. Yeah, that depth is scaring me. I should do something about it. And one of the group of people have taken it upon themselves to champion the most radical change of them all, Albert Speer and his Gang of Four. Kurt George Kessinger is a prominent member of the NSDAP with deep connection to many organs within the Reich. While charismatic and cautious, his reformist views didn't endear him to his conservative leadership. Ludwig Erhard. Oh, I know this guy. So basically, to stop my yapping, so there's like these 4 people who are Speer's friends, but they're not necessarily his friends, and they're the Gang of Four. Herling von Tresckow, George von Kissingauer, Helmut Schmidt, and Ludwig Erhard are all part of this alliance where they see Speer as a guy they can use to make Germany a democracy again. I don't remember. I might have read that before. There was like something about the Gang of Four when I played this game. The trees of Madagascar. It's gonna become the German Vietnam or something. Right, let's 60. Do I waste 60 political power? I will already secured Bohemia and Moravia. Alright. Let's do it. Please. The end of French Madagascar. Right, screw the Dominican Republic. Madagascar is so much more important. Super tough song is played. Can I send Yes, I can send volunteers to mighty Madagascar. Hitler's dead. Please. Just let me take Madagascar. I think the Reich sits in a state complete for the past 3 Reichstag has been at another throats over a simple matter of through the sins to the Reich. Now that the Führer is dead, as I assumed that the next year would be smooth. The current chaos and lack of any real planning for the Christ of the German people are left in a state of utter confusion as the Reichstag. Or the autocracy might have their chosen candidate for the office. Choose how their generals or their home cities, since held workers in the economy, since the held Hitler. It seemed as if every German had decided on their own special salute, and nobody liked one another. By the end of the week, Karl the Reich had become the most important constituted by the people of Germany. No seem particularly enthused about it anymore.
Sources on German radios have conveyed substantial and conflicting reports of a nationwide armed struggle, with the exception of Germania and certain regions under local military control. Martin believed that both Albert Speer and Hermann Goering have established their own factions in this conflict, representing the reformist and militarist factions within the Nazi Party. We have yet to confirm the activities of the SS and the whereabouts of Reinhard Heydrich. It is almost certain that Himmler and Burgundy will play a role in this conflict.
We agree on that. How about we agree to send, we should agree on helping Madagascar, right? Please. What are we doing? What are we doing? Would hit us to, like, abandon Madagascar? No! We failed hit. You think in this world there's still people that are like... Could Americans name 3 European countries or something like that? And they just say, Nazi Germany, Reichskommissariat Ausland, Reichskommissariat Moscovian, or Reichskommissariat Caucasian, or something like that. There's no way they'd actually say like the Reichskommissariat. Oh, it just annexed itself. Wow. Spiegel surrenders. That's really amazing. What's this? Alright, so I already have a problem, and that's South Africa. Do we get our divisions?
Angetreten.
Oh my days. Please say we have the whole army back we had before. Where is it? We only have one mountaineer. Where are the helicopters? Oh, for fuck's sake, it's the AI, stupid. What's this? There's Zelsvorian. Click on the states for further interactions. Reichsworker dismantle. Slaves, 19 million. Is this in Germany alone, or in all of these places? But that's so insane. 19 million slaves. That's like the population of California. That's like if you enslaved the whole of New York City. It's like if you enslaved Hefei. Yeah, that's a lot of slaves. What am I? Oh, I'm supposed to. So these companies own slaves, and you have to dismantle it. Take our guns. I don't really care. It's hungry. Streets of Germany. Alright, well, I see here a lot of orange, black, red, and yellow, so... No, I'm gonna go down the reformist path. So basically, after the German Civil War, we get like a bunch of random mechanics. Like there's some companies controlling slaves throughout all the Reichskommissariats and in Germany, and we have to dismantle them all. And then there's this other mechanic in decisions where there's a power struggle between conservatives and reformists, and we want to become more reformist because I just felt like it. And also, there's this third thing called regime stability within the power struggle, which is really is annoying at any point in the game. And if we go under it, the regime collapses like every 10 seconds. Wow, we should build a lot of these. My people, sons and daughters of Germany, the trials we have faced over the past 3 decades have been greater than anything we faced by any other nation in history. Never before has an empire defeated so many foes and risen to such heights, only to be laid low again in such a short period of time. Since the passing of our beloved Führer, our suffering has only increased with each passing day. 30 years ago, none could possibly have imagined that such privation and misery would befall the German people. Yet here we stand, knee-deep in the blood of our own kin. How could it have come to this? How could we, the most noble and the most brotherly of nations, tear ourselves apart suddenly and violently? The answer is plain for the rest of the world to see, but we ourselves have been blinded by the petty rivalries and the stagnation of our glory. Germany, we failed. We failed to see the writing on the wall, to accept the old ways served us no longer. We failed to remember the National Socialism. It's a movement of the people, not a rigid dogmatic tool of bureaucratic militarists and purist fanatics. People of Germany, we will not return to the same path that led us to the brink of destruction once before. This is referring to, like, Himmler's coup. The time has come for change. Change we can believe in. National Socialism and representation will serve. Let's go to South Africa.
The situation in South Africa is also tense, and we will have a special report tonight detailing OFN support for the South African Union.
The Reich Commissariat was called, conducted terror bombing campaigns all over towns and cities in their range. Although larger population centers like East London and Cape Town are safe under the vanguard of the South African Air Force.
Oh my, those divisions are locked in. Are these divisions locked in? Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't have said thanks to like an African river. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's the No, it's just thanks. I don't see the correlation between Germany invading Poland and the Reichskommissariat invading South Africa. Party accused of very agitated list of crimes from abuse of power to accepting bribes and even treason. As a result, this several democratic countries protested against what had appeared to be a purge in disguise. But this didn't deter the government in Germany. After several months, Spear had achieved a double result. Not only had he tightened his grip on the party, but the German people are also much more supportive of his regime. Those traitors got what they deserved. Oh my days, that's probably why. I'm gonna propose a ceasefire. That's our side even. Well, we got the worst parts of the South. Like, could they have given us this area that we captured? At least these two provinces. I know Western Cape is extremely important, but give us the most useless northern part. Oh my. What's this? The anti-Houthi cabinet. Something strange in Africa. das Afrikan nicht Reichsstaat. Spear picked it up and began to flip through what the most to be right was happening against the fellow African persistent intensive created large unified rights commissar passing rights and all these differences the house should be run. So the most massacres are made that every quarter page around by the time Spear did it and then Florida is that quality anymore. What? So basically, after the invasion of Africa and us securing the ceasefire, this one random guy in like Tanzania, who is more allied to the SS, took over like the whole of Africa, and he rules it himself or something, and he's like exterminating and doing weird things, similar to the people in the Orsk Siberian warlord, for the very few people who know, the Der Loanger Brigade. So something similar to that's happening in Africa. We did it! Hooray! We won the super easy wars of reconquest. So does that mean that our hegemony or whatever, we need to click one last decision. What's this? The fate of our conquest. Yes. Anything to do though with the Reich's commissar, that's what we need to do first. In the world of espionage, I don't care for that. Sure, I'll collapse without. The fate of our conquest. What's this? Kurt George Kissinger, the powerhouse of charisma. But he couldn't do things alone, not unless he coordinated his plans with the Fuhrer. Unfortunately for him, his relations between him and Speer were much better off than the rest of the gang. So when they met, it was during a walk in the Volkswagen, traversing the cold, long, massive halls of the place as they spoke. Go over your plan again, will you? Speer asked, and Kissinger found it simple to oblige. It's a several-step plan. In no particular order, I'd like to deal with three issues. First, it's difficult to keep conquest hands, especially if they're from the people that hold contempt from us. Wouldn't you agree? He asked me. What is wrong with me? First, he asked, and Speer gave a wary nod. I propose a solution. We can either reform the Reichskommissars into natively organized collaborationist governments or turn them into Reichslanders. These would be more separate but equal deal, not preferable, and potentially unstable. Though it would please the conservatives. Speer flicked open his lighter for a cigarette. The other two problems, Kissinger nodded. Second issue is of slavery. It's killing us, and we'll need to tackle it carefully. That is a plan I will draw on later, but all of us must cooperate on it. The last thing with the economy, besides the conglomerates. Well, we'll have to revive business, and Spear's face contorted into slight annoyance. Speak with Erhard. I'm aware, my fear. Don't worry. However, I know how to deal with him. Spear let out a sigh. That's your plan, then. In a case, I advise you begin as soon as possible. Kissinger smiled. Of course, my fear, after all. There's no better time than the work to be done now. Alright, well. Oh, is that nine? So, I believe that. Alright, I think now we can disband the slaves. Alright, so. Start with the Netherlands. Oh, we can do this multiple times. Never mind, let's just spam it everywhere. Never mind, we can't. Oh wait, well some places are like already devolved. Guys, have to be honest, I'm a bit biased to my people. There's, let's see, saving face. Nobody's going to buy this, groaned Speer, placing yet another propaganda poster on the rejected pile. What is... He opened another manila envelope and produced another thick wad of paper, idly flicking through them with air of a man knee-deep in a dismay. Wow. Kissinger was impassive. Well, my friend, they were designed to your specification. I'm sure the fine young man in the propaganda ministry are doing their jobs as best they can. I'll ignore that comment. Pat Kanzier Stier muttered as he glanced disparagingly at the particular unconvincing poster. I mean, really, look at this. He slammed down on the desk and threw the rest of them over his shoulder, tempered and exhausted. It was a photograph showing smiling, far too well-fed man in striped pajamas of a concentration camp. Inmate shaking hands with an equally jubilant, healthy-looking bureaucrat in full party uniform. That is the stupidest plan I've ever heard. Indeed, nobody's gonna buy the slave snaking hand with a bureaucrat, and there's no way they think they got a real slave. for masters and slaves, for brothers and friends. It is a bit on the nose, conceded Kessinger. Oh my days, what are you on? Who even is this Kessinger? Oh, he's the main guy. Wow. It's a bit too on the nose, but it's a hard sell, my fool. It is slavery after all. Yeah. Spear shook his head. No, Kessinger, I told you, they're not slaves. They're foreign workers. Or involuntary labourers. What is involuntary labourers? This is the type of thing you hear from African dictators. We have to make sure if our narrative stays consistent. Kessinger sighed. Apologise, my friend, but there's no sense in playing with semantics. They are what they are. It's a bitter pill that entire nation will have to swallow it at some point. The Fuhrer looked lost. Only knew his subordinate thought, what could you be running through the back channels of his conflicted mind? Fine. He said after several seconds. Silence. Fine. We'll find another plan of attack then. You are dismissed. Party cans led. Oh yeah, party cans led. Alright, who knew this was inconvenient? Wow, it took so long to read. I cannot read for my life. The slave revolt doesn't... How did this happen? Sure, I have a save, right? Or I'm gonna save it for September. How did I not notice that? Oh my days. Or Speedo, because I can no longer just have these. What is going on here? Yeah, I hope that guy wins. Yeah, cool. Oh well, there's Siemens. The horror, the horror. My gut is that I'm still here. That is my gut. Guys, I don't care for the capital. Wow. Heil Speer. Heil Germania. Doesn't matter because the regime still hates these decisions, so we may as well just keep everything how it is. It benefits our regime stability, so it goes down by 5. But if we do this one, oh yeah, let's do Heil Speer. 19 million slaves. The Reykjavik Accords begin. The anticipated Reykjavik Accords are set to commence. American-German diplomats have begun to arrive to Iceland for perhaps the most important meeting of the decade. Much is at stake, and many are excited at the prospects of a thaw in relations between Germany and America. Hooray. Let's see. Mr. President, I hope this letter finds you well. What is the president? George Wallace. I've never heard of this guy. I hope this letter finds you well. One of the silver linings of our civil war, as I'm sure your people are inclined to agree, is the opportunity for a new Germany to rise from the ashes and amend the wounds our forebears have created, including amongst the mistake of Hitler's right was an alien nation of our nation from years. Historically, our peoples have been like your brothers, and our lands have exchanged populations many times, even in the recent past. Where does your beloved hamburger come from? But our own migrants, your Frankfurt. Where did your national spirit born in your fires of 1848 come from, but the revolutionary favour of your own War of Independence? It is the Fuhrer's wish that our countries might find a common ground once more, a discussion of difference at least, and perhaps a partnership that could extend well into the future. As I'm sure you'll agree, Mr. President, the world is rapidly changing. With the collapse of alliances, discord in Africa, and the re-emergence of an unpredictable Japan, the better friends we have, the better chance our world has of preserving. I hope this could become a dialogue between our office and yours. We look forward to your reply with great interest. Helmut Schmidt, Reich Minister of Foreign Affairs. The Reichoff Conference. On for several days, the Americans have played remarkably quiet with their demands so far, but only a fool would have let the proceedings begin without an idea of what the Americans would demand at the end. In fact, it was predictable how unpredictable they were being. Everyone here had clearly learned from the same playbook, which made it all easier to dance between them with unspoken promises and tie them knots and double meanings. Reich Minister Schmidt lit his third cigarette at the meeting. The brief head rush provided him with such clarity it seemed to sap from everybody else in the room. The Amerikaners gave one another an unspoken message that was more of a scream he had known. What they have asked of 4 days ago, Dawson's had just been to decide, was willing to give. It is a difficult game. No one where neither his own government nor the opposition could know his goals. Thus far, however, all was going to plan. In order to resume official diplomatic relations between our nations, Dowling coughed. There must be some concessions. Schmidt took another dragging gesture for him to continue. Number 1, nuclear parity must be maintained, but overall stockpiles must be reduced. An overall reduction in worldwide nuclear stockpiles is essential. Maintain peace. Number 2, the institution for labour is unacceptable. Current efforts to end it are recognised, and the rights of the workers must be improved until the workers. Number 3, world trade must be re-normalised, and trade between our nations would go a long way towards that. Another drag so predictable Schmidt considered this days ago. He got a cigarette and a stray of the obvious relief of his counterpart and said, "We should consider we will of course guarantee the rights of your involuntary. America will always be the first choice for our markets. Americans and slaves go together like biscuits and gravy." Yeah, this one is normal. Americans and slaves go together like biscuits and gravy. More options. Yes. With the signing of the Accords, Santa talked with the Americans, some of the NSDAP. The even public are shocked by some of the things agreed by the Reich. Speer has been working tirelessly to ensure their fears, to show them that these concessions were necessary for the Reich to not only heal but grow from what it was before. He has given speeches from Germany to Frankfurt praising the Reich's diplomats. It says all Germans will have their lives improved at the end of the American embargo. We can only hope. Enemy agent. Chinese operative captured. The mention of the successful diplomatic talks between Germany and America, the head of the German diplomat, Helmut Schmidt, has been invited to the White House. Schmidt has had the honour to sign legislation that officially ended the American embargo of Germany alongside the President himself. It's a historic day for both nations. Both countries are finally ready to try and put behind them more than 2 decades of rivalry and conflict. It will take time to mend the wounds, but the first step forward is finally taken. We'll give peace a chance. Their past is... Alright, all that's left. Where's the... his Polish was rusty selector. What is the problem? Mr. Volker said came to light my planned destination. Only relocate to Krakow. What? State came to light. Permanently relocate to Krakow. Is Mark Sally German? Yeah, sorry, the feeling so with his anger but his eyes running. Good night. Oh, he's Polish. For a second pause, did the German man look at him before silence if his dancing outside his family heritage. In his greater German Reich times, Zurich compared to the biggest person because it is a similar urban environment. Marseille's heart leaped to his throat. As Requiem is my home, more than any other city, even if it isn't with the borders of home and south. I already put you the hand into fists and punched. Can I ask for a transfer? You fumble what did it? Like he was a fool, asked by the dumb comp. Yes, man, das normal. Yes, sagt man, das normal. His gaze suddenly, stricken with fear. His eyes of a man who had gone through this before had a deep. He's Mr. Vogel, word of advice, desperation, cried out beside his chest. Your belongings get to your train in the past 15 minutes. And he's dancing, modern spelling. Wow. And there goes another conglomerate. Hey man, there's only 16 million slaves left, and they appear to all be. There's only 1 million. Oh yeah, because there's like slaves sprinkled across the earth. Yeah, there's still a good 5 million slaves in Poland. That's just amazing. Huh? Spartacus? Weasel was thrust to his lecture dismissed. What's this? Yes. Yeah, arriba España. Yahoo. Can you believe it? We're going to New York. I did it. I completed the focus tree. There goes his divisions and problems. Iraq. We're definitely gonna get the one with like the worst. He said, "It's this one. Obviously, it's this one." All right, maybe these guys, right? Surely. See, notice how Japan gets like all the good bits. Like they get the Mesopotamia, while I get the place literally called the Southern Desert. Notice how they get the Muslim Brothers and how they get the most relevant parts of Egypt, while we get the south of the Nile. Don't notice that. It's just... seconds. Alright, man. If Something changing, wow. They're getting more organized, Kessinger said with a smile on his face. What is getting more organized? Demanding more. I've gotten reports of demanding elections. The other 3 members of the gang before all smiled back. It's finally happening. We're winning, Schmidt said. This will make the plot I heard about at the beginning. Definitely. I never thought I'd see the day, Erhan replied, beaming. The protester reforms the economy. I always thought we'd get found out and killed. We're not out of the woods yet, Trescal interjected. There's still a long way to go. Don't get too excited. The mood in the room grew sour. There were still swastikas flying outside. Caricatures of Jews and Slavs still lined the walls of buildings. But it could change. It could all change, as if one on cue spear burst into the room. Classing them! His voice snapped and the gang out of the discussion, and they all looked towards him. Suddenly filled with unease, Spear looked more than just uneasy himself. The protesters keep filling the streets. They're starting to ramp up their demands. The Reich seems like it's crumbling down all around me. What the hell did I ask you to help me fix this for? He demanded as an explanation, but judging by the expression on his face, he wasn't expecting one either with imperturbable sigh and a nod. Kessinger got out of his seat as if Spear motioned him out to leave. The rest of the gang half cleared and stepped out, and the rest of the gang stood in silence. Then Cheska smiled and spoke. Well, I wonder why. The wheel turns. Mission failed. Wow. Alright, well, I'm gonna do my stuff in Iran because, yeah, I didn't have anything about their special plan. Freedom and violence. New cap! Alright, all of this is really became the Reich was dying. As the rioter fled to escape from the storm, all these scripted events, the past repeats. He had felt strength to open the constant for the documents so his desk. He knew exactly what direction the revolt would go. They would push and push. Oh shit! What the fuck? The slaves. They'd push and push. The Wehrmacht would push back until finally the Aryan Legion would stomp down and annihilate the petty resistance as the revolt gave way to the new order. The thought soothed his mind a little, but he was still bitter with anger and concerned someone kept trying to push him down another road. My Führer! My future! Schmidt began, and Spear took no chance of slamming a fist against the desk and glared at him with rageful eyes. This nonsense again, he said, sneering his head. Helmut Schmidt, know your place. I've spent the past 2 decades trying to move past the web after web, and now you're constantly biting at my ankles here and there. Who do you think I am, Schmidt? Some sort of peace-loving liberal, Stacy? Perhaps you are, but I am far from such a thing. Schmidt ground his teeth together, feeling his breath become heavier. I advise you, time and time again, that clashing with the slaves would ruin the international image. To hell with your international image. You, Spear's eyes narrowed, Schmidt. You, lying in my bed with the Reichsbanner. Aren't you? Schmidt felt his stomach churn and stepped away. I should have seen this earlier. I should have realized a decade ago. You are no more than some pathetic liberal sissy. I know who you are, Schmidt. You are a liberal sissy. A liberal sissy. Spear kicked him back. His chair had stood up, almost floating at the mouth. Get out of my office. Get out, you Judeo-Bolshevik. Get up, for you have hanged as an enemy of the state. Schmidt felt sweat drip down his back as he began walking out, while Spear didn't relent. I feel like maybe Spear is jealous of Schmidt's 3 purple hearts, and that the land is voting for him. Willie was there. It was Willie this whole time. Utter failure. What's this? DEFCON 3, World Tension sitting at 19. Wow. In this very room, so long ago, Oberlander had sworn to keep Spear in check. That was, he thought, kept running through his head as the men around him yelled and shouted at one another, each more and more eager to shoot the proposals of enemy. Can contribute, President, the most As the slaves were revolting, just a dozen party officials Dear Kessinger Schmidt, they had given the Untermenschen the rope by which they hang on the German nation. If they were to survive, if they were to continue, someone would do something. Sorry, descending for the Reichstag. Wow. Slaves rising throughout Muscovian. Wow, the Muscovian slaves. You know, like, could this something happen to Japan? Like, why me? Why not the Japanese?
Today, representatives of the German Reich, led by Helmut Schmidt, will arrive at the Polish border to meet with delegates from the Free Europe Army Association. The Free Europe Army Association has seriously compromised the security and stability of Europe. The repatriation of the longtime traitor Willy Brandt and a group of malicious individuals carefully planned an uprising and fomented panic and unrest among the population. This led to the establishment of this malicious anti-German organization.
The reports sat among what they seemed like a million others on Speer's desk. The rest of the gang crowded into various chairs, however. This one was clearly more important than any other. The Fuhrer had even cleared out a space on his desk for an island paper on a sea of hardwood. He looks up at the gang and placed the finger accurately on the text. You want to know what this says? Silence, shame, total silence. No gang member dared to stare into Speer's flaming eyes. Field Marshal Skoder has after his coup in Muscovia, seized control of revolting areas through swift, forceful action. How come we couldn't do the same? From the little information we are currently receiving, Reichsbanner rebels. Where is this? Reichsbanner have either retreated into hiding or fled. Speer more factually. Yeah, he finished. Still, not others there to respond. You know what this means? No, I actually don't. It means that Ferdinand fucking Ferdinand Scone is the Reich's face of stability and action, and we're standing around with our pants down. Speer, are you trying to say you have a small willy? And why can't we do the same? They're rebels. Well, put like our pants up and not reveal our small willies. Yeah, I wish we could do the same. The Americans should start shooting at their soldiers. They wouldn't pussyfoot around with their response, would they? Silence, stunned, disbelieving silence entered the room. Slowly the gang, Philip Spear sat back down and certainly far. Well, it was a justified outburst. If Germania didn't do something, and fast. Storm beatings, right? Schorner would do it for them, and they'd be in a real trouble. When it rains, it pours. Is that a song reference? Well, that's all it needed. That's all that he wanted. Speer! Stayed the gun under his desk and thrall back, pent up saliva, and then the tremors returned, and Speer raised his head to look up at the maps on his desk. Here was Germany, powerful and strong. Population of more than 100 million. Oh, actually, it has a population here. I just need to check. Where is it? Built on success after success, and with his guiding hand, would steer into the future. In the east, it was all the stripes, the circles, the slaves, the whelps, the Untermenschen. They had taken so much territory now, again and again. His Aryan people failed him. He would not allow it. No. The future was no longer Adolphus. It was Albert Einstein. But Albert Einstein is a Jew, so he shot himself. That is the story of Speer. He had power now. He called the shots, and all he had to do was make the call. Papers in office. Chuckle, Helmut Schmidt. You too, you little Zionist puppet. How I'll see you do something. Maybe. Which now and barely. Good. Nice. I think Speer might be going insane, and that he might just be. Oh, well, that's a report I'll be reading. Is that you, bro? Oh, how far? Who was, yeah, what was it wrong? The Fuhrer of the 1,000-year Reich. Oh, the delusions. He was not anyone's lackey, and for far too long. He let these liberal sissies and bingo commies around influence him to try and swing him. Ever since Speer fantasized about returning to his roots as a dictator in Germany, he was scared. What if it went wrong? What if he was stopped? So he actually waited for something. Okay. As Willy Brandt is now in support of this April. His mind went to why his rage without thinking. He tore his classified documents in half. Each for his gun, he knew where Helmut Schmidt was, and within minutes, he knew that the Judeo-Bolshevik would be dead if only Speer had the patience to give him something worse. Storming out of his office, he began to walk directly to Schmidt's office. So with only one thing on his mind, something stopped him in the dim shadows of the Reichskanzlei. He could hear footsteps behind him before he could turn around. Pain shot through his arms, his hands grabbed around tightly in front of him, mocked. Reinhard Gechlen. What the hell are you doing, Gechlen? He screamed. No, you know. What do you know? Gechlen gave a small sign as he recorded. Tick document. Big piece of paper. and a lighter in each hand. My future. There was no weight to that word. I have an interest in keeping things as is. Here, he said, wiggling the document mockingly into his hand. List of all the terrible things you did during your tenure as Minister of Armament. Oh yeah, Armaments and War Production. So I believe in the start of the game, there was something actually. There was a special focus where you already like destroyed the documents or something, but apparently they're here. You continued flickering the lighter open near the paper. Is your freedom. Choose wisely, her Spear. The one will end you, and the other will free you. Would you not just shoot the guy as well? Spear could barely see anything past the unfocused chase, while he could hear crisply what the man said. John failed to answer. He said, you upped into the ask. Gehlen raised an eyebrow. Schmidt, he did it. Right, you're here. You knew this would happen. Didn't he? Didn't he? Fury filled his cracking voice. Schmidt looked at him in his brain. Schmidt, his looks painted out. Schmidt, Gehlen merely shook his head with disappointment. Schmidt, you degenerate, liberal sissy. Come out, I can kill you, Schmidt. Come out. Why do I get the same egghead? Oh, I still haven't any volunteers. Oh, that's cool. Alright, let's go kill the blue cheeks. Put it in your back. One people will be, a band of brothers. No danger, no distress shall sunder us. We will be free men, as our fathers were sooner. Welcome that. When we live as slaves. Frederick Skill, Williamtown. Freedom Packets. Whoa, this is the biggest focus tree I've seen. Let's restore trust. Alright, I believe there should be an editing note that I got stuck in like some sort of infinite regime collapsing debt loop. Like if it was unforeseeable no matter what decisions I took, unless I went back all the way to 1969, something like that, like a very long time ago. But anyway, I got stuck in some infinite debt loop, so I cut out like most of the video where I like reload the saves. And I tried, I don't know, some other random stuff, but by the end of the video I figured something out, but like it didn't get me to the full end. So I just want to let you guys know. Well, we do get like 99% of the ending. Like literally 99.999%. The meeting room of the Reichskanzler was stiff with emotions. Albert Speer sat in the front, and his hands were pressed tightly together while the teeth grinned endlessly. The other five, the gang and Spiegel, were mainly the ones convening with each other. All of them, however, especially Schmidt, could feel the rage emitting from the floor, who hadn't spoken a word since the meeting. Kessinger cut the silence. Spiegel, you're saying we remain quiet? The general nodded. Right. And hope in doing so is that the slaves will eventually reach out to us, seeing as how we'll plan for if I may, or I could. Should we move our troops away from the border just to let them know that we don't mean any harm? The moment he was done, his eyes flicked to the sheriff, who began speaking as soon as their hand bit the cigar in his teeth. And let the bandits move in to pillage German settlers. He shouted. The rest stared in silence. Ridiculous. This is sheer insanity. They can't even control themselves to act peacefully, let alone we decide to give them so much trust that they do not deserve. Nobody spoke for the next few seconds. Schmidt's eyes fell from one person to another and then back again. And went back again, and his trembling hands scratched the table lately. What are you doing What are you looking at me for? Come on, speak. Pretend I'm not here. Bolsheviks, a lot of you. She decided to return his look aggressive and speak on his own behalf. Do you agree that if we begin to leverage diplomacy on their own terms, we could start things off strongly with them and use that to our advantage? Kessinger reluctantly shrugged. Wow. My regime is about to collapse for the 50th time in this video. I'm going to have to reload the game. I'm going to have to replay the same thing for the millionth time. The rebels reach out. And Strike peering at Spears volatile. Schmidt can defy him so openly. So that's she would ask. Something had right out Schmidt officer the Reichskanzler that day. He was grasping the letter tightly down, cursing through his mind. Dear Helmut Schmidt, Minister for Foreign Affairs. This Willy Brandt speaking. I'm the helm of the Reich Spanish France Gold. Naturally, but I come to you with an offer. Your government has deadly started as a recent, and is slowly beginning to unfurl the army of free Europe. Some say that you are preparing for an attack, while I know better come. Helmut Schmidt, you have been representing Germany's more human face, have you not? I asked to present this letter to Herr Speer freely. I suppose in the end it is the letter to read. Now here it is what I have to say. We will be holding a meeting in Warsaw in the St. Alexander's Church. I pick it because it is a holy place, and no holy place should be a battlefield for violence. I will also ask another, perhaps more important thing. As you show of peace, as I ask you to come with only you and your diplomats, there is no need for guns to match between our peace and crosses. I once certainly shall follow through with this, but if you do, I will remain ever grateful for your move. And my final statement will be this: to Herr Spiel, to you Helmut Schmidt, to Ludwig Erhard, to Kurt von Kissinger, to Herning von Tresckow, I should congratulate you all on taking Germany so far. It was a dark shadows before, and for a while I had feared for its existence, but my hope was strengthened, and I hope you choice that the free, humans, and democratic Germany still lives. Thank you for your cooperation. If all goes well, I shall be seeing you soon, Willy Brandt. Now is the one to strike. Comberg no, as appears too volatile. Schmidt can define them openly. This will allow us to negotiate our space available due to a reformist social outlook. This limits us to within Speer's vision. Don't, none of this even matters, man. Our regime will collapse in 30 days, man. Do whatever you want. I'm gonna have to reload the game. When Helmut Schmidt stepped through the door into St. Alexander's Church, felt himself enter another world. Something about its air was not oppressive and dreadful, one that could feel outside it, not echo cry of slaves, the breaking of chains. No such thing. It was Schmidt thrown into a different universe altogether, where none of the madness was forced to happen. There were only 4 faces he saw. The only one he recognized was his face. Really bad, but he could recognize the others by association. One was Karl Josef Wojtyła, a Catholic priest who Schmidt could immediately recognize his clothing. Another was Vyacheslav Chernovil, though he did not know much of him. And last was Nadezhda Troyan, former NKVD agent and assassin of Wilhelm Kube. He did not like her beliefs, though respected her guts to do such a thing, all of them. However, remained sad was Brandt. As Brandt approached her, well, if it isn't the famous Helmut Schmidt. With his wide smile, he brought his hand out and two gave each other a stroke. I take it you are a bit more sympathetic to our cause than that of your friend you call Herr Speer. It's actually future Speer. Schmidt at first bit his tongue. He didn't want to risk anything, say anything wrong thing. Like, bro, I didn't realize just how exactly he was friend. He huffed a laugh to his nose. Not exactly what I would call him, but he's neither here or nor there. I will have a pleasure to negotiate these things with you, Herr Brandt. I have much reason to support your cause. Brandt gave Schmidt a sharp look and a sly smile. To support implies you have done nothing yet to cause the Reich spanner. But he said Schmidt was filled with the need to step in, back anxiety and amused nervous chuckle. Right you are, Herr Brandt. Right you are. Wow, that's so cool. Alright, can I get the game over with, or will I collapse before that happens? Oh, that Frank Spanish short gold on behalf of the Free Army of Europe. Of all slaves are locked in their chains and forced to work themselves to death in inhumane conditions. I demand for them to be let free without hesitance, with all promise haste in the world. Helmut Schmidt nodded. You know you are quite the bold one with your demands, Herr Brandt. The leader of the state front really gave a smile, and you are giving quite a lack of pushback. I like expect a man of the Reich angry at this, but I appreciate the sanity nonetheless. Now, the man of protest for violence with Germany, the brave men and women who wish to liberate those that deserve the wanton cruelty of the Reich that plagued them, are already knew more and more right. We'll spend 10 billion national debt, we will explode, and my regime was guaranteed to collapse. Alright, that's cool. Yeah, there's no coming back from 1%. Please say. Alright, freedom, sweet freedom. There's a foggy day in Stettin. Alright, so why did we switch to this? I don't think I'll be reloading another save. I don't think anything comes after this. Please, please, please. Let this be the longest 19 days. Please, 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 please. Where is it? Where's the event? Follow the vehicle, Jovic. Ah. I know more. Lieber had offered the opportunity for him and Schmidt to share a drink together. Life made from worse than my free potion German had as well. The Nuremberg laws shall be abolished. Cool. Invade me, Tukhachevsky, invade me, please. Invade me. July of 1973. The regime won't last that long.
I stretched out.
So the regime will last 16 days.
For as long as I could. Basically, for the rest of the thing, if you're listening, Schmidt and his gang of 4 went to the church to meet up with the slave rebellion, and they negotiated. And they were the main thing was to abolish some laws and for people to be equal and stuff. But then they started bringing about other ideas like abolishing the Nuremberg laws and freedom of speech and elections and stuff. So I just accepted all of them, and assuming that we'd go back to Germany or something. I eventually just read it out on Google because the regime collapsed. But if you really, really think about it, I kind of done the realistic way, because Justice Schmidt was about to arrive, even though I did get a fact that he was dismissed, even though he wasn't in Germania. So technically it did not make sense. Alright, man, so the Gang of 4 was successful from leading Germany towards democratic path at the cost of these conservative restoration. The Spear joins the DSSR, become the Emperor of the planning a lightning war against Burgundy. Oh wait, I think I actually could have gotten that fight. Alright, I just screw this. I lost the image to this. The bad. The worst. So what's this? Gang of 4, good ending, the pragmatic ending, the bad ending. Yeah, this is the ending I got. I think this is what I saw at the end, right? So I guess they went to Spear. Right, so yeah, sorry for the terrible ending, guys. Have a good one or whatever.